Hey, so just finished the little hallway makeover up here, including painting the attic stairs door. And during that week I was working up here, I noticed some drafts and temperature changes. And I know this is a weak point for insulation in most homes. So we'll go ahead and take some temperature readings, see what we got going on. So my heat is currently set to 67 and running up here. So looks like the normal ceiling, let's see if you can see that. Looks like it's hard to show up on the camera. Okay. So like 66 and a half. It's about 67 on the ceiling. When I come over here to the attic door, and 48. So it was in the 20s last night, and I think the high in the day today is in the 30s. So over 15-20 degree difference in the attic door temperature because there's no insulation. So in this video we're gonna install some kind of air barrier and insulation barrier for above the attic door, so like kind of an attic hatch thing. I'm gonna make it out of like foam with some radiant barrier. So online I saw some different ones they sell that were really thin, just kind of a radiant barrier, not like any insulation. So I'm just going to build my own. Looking around, a lot of people make these out of like insulating foam, so that's what we're going to do in this video. And then we'll do some before and after temperature readings. But first, let's get up there in the attic and see what we got going on. All right, so the first thing to note, about your attic stairs hatch, it's like 1/4 inch thin plywood, and it doesn't. There's no like weather stripping. There's no like air seal, so you're losing conditioned air. Either hot or cold air, depending on the season, straight into your attic. And then the framing's like 3/4 to an inch thick, so that's really now wood does have an R value. I was trying to look it up. I think it's like 0.3 for 1/4 inch of plywood, so really no insulation value. But let's go ahead and pull the stairs down and go look about sealing this hatch. So we made it up here. So looks like we have the attic framing and then the framing of the attic stairs. I think what I'll do is I'll have, looks like all the edges of the hardware clear this like 2-inch area. So I'm gonna have my foam box slide down between the attic framing and then rest on here. So I'll go ahead and get the tape measure and just measure out the dimensions. Down some rough measurements. So mine's roughly 55 inches by 26, and it's almost square, just a smidge off. So I got those dimensions for building the box. Next thing I notice is, so like between the attic framing and this, that's, look down here, I can see like the drywall and the trim. So there's this big gap here. So I'm gonna get some great stuff foam and fill up the gap all around the attic hatch between the attic framing and the stairwell framing. So I just have some great stuff gapped in cracks, fills up to 1 inch, and that's what I'm going to use to fill this gap all the way around. And I just overfilled it, let it expand it out. Once it's cured, expand all the way out. Once it's cured, I'll just trim it flush so my foam panel will have something to sit nice against. Now the bottom isn't really going to be my air seal, I don't think. I think I'm going to do a friction fit up against this framing to get a good air seal on the framing. But if I can get to seal on this, that'd be great too. So like I said, once it's cured, I'll trim this all flush. But let's go ahead and go to the store. I gotta get some foam boards. Alright, I picked up a 4x8 sheet of this Henry R-Tech. So it's a EPS foam board, expanded polystyrene, and it has aluminum facers, radiant barrier facers on each side. Also like bug and vapor barrier. So it's like 15 bucks for a 4x8 foot sheet. I think I'll be able to build it with just one. I did buy some extra because I plan to insulate an attic knee wall in the room above the garage later. So I picked up a few, but we'll see if we can make this out of one of them. So and it's got like the foil facer underneath, and then this side's also a polymeric or vapor barrier, whatever it's called. But got marker, razor, just cuts with a like X-Acto knife blade, T-square. So I got my measurements. The only other thing you didn't see me do is I had to measure the depth of my box to clear like the stairs and the framing for the stairs. For me that was 9 inches, but I'll go ahead and cut all the side pieces to build the frame. So I'm going to measure that out and start cutting. Alright, this stuff's pretty easy to cut just with a razor blade. So, not too bad. So, but I'll get all 4 of my sides cut, and before I start assembling anything, I'm going to go up and mock them up and make sure they all fit in the attic. So before I can test fit my board pieces, my spray foam is fully cured. I used more than I needed to, but I wanted to make sure it expanded out all the way. And then I'm just going to trim it all flush with an oscillating tool. So far, so good. Looks like the foam is fitting in my frame. There's the great stuff, spray foam, I shaved flush. A little snug, but I kind of cut that at an angle, so I have to trim that a little flatter. And then I think I'll be ready to start assembling my box frame. But I'll do that downstairs. So let's take this out. Got a couple orders to shim, and then I think I'm just gonna put this together with silicone and like aluminum tape. But let's go get started putting it together. It was too cold outside. I brought the project inside. I'm ready to assemble. Even measured and cut the top piece. So I'm gonna do the foil radiant barrier side in towards the inside of the house, at least for this first layer. When I do the second layer, I think I might flip it, do a little air gap or something between the 2 layers, but I have room to do a second layer, measuring everything up there, so I think that's what I'll do. I have board left over. I have a good amount left over, plus I bought extra boards. But I just have some silicone caulk, and we'll start putting some beads on all these corners and getting it all initially glued together and see what we get. Don't do what I just did. I put it on the wrong way, so I gotta flip it. But this caulking actually sticks really well to hold it together. So I think it'll be easier to get everything lined up. Now flip it upside down. So here's the top. I'm gonna lay this out, put some caulk around the edges, and then attach the frame, get it all lined up. So I have some Sagrilla duct tape, all-purpose tape, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape on all the corners since I have them where I want them until this caulk sets up, just so nothing moves around. So do some tape around all the corners and the top, and then let this set up a little bit. The next step I'm doing is some of the caulk came out for the adhesive. I'm actually going to take the same caulk and just seal all the inside seams. So I'll run a bead around all the edges, the corners, and seal that up. All the seams caulked, and then I started doing some foil tape. So on these exposed polystyrene edges, I'm cleaning up like the little boogers from cutting, and then I'm going to foil tape the bottom. That way this stuff doesn't, come out anymore. It's all sealed, and you install and remove it. So I'm going to put tape all around on the bottom, just like I did here. All the foil taping is done on all the edges, so we're looking good there. I think I'll do the foil tape in all the corners on the inside too, but I'm gonna let the caulking fully cure. It's only been about 30 minutes. So at this point, I think I'm just gonna flip it over. It's already pretty rigid. And all these seams on the outside, I'm gonna use regular Nashua 557 duct tape. That foil tape is kind of expensive. It's a very nice tape to have. I bought it originally for sealing some leaks in the ducting in the attic, but it's expensive. It's like $30 a roll. So I'm going to use the regular style. This is also really good duct tape, Nashua 557 all-purpose. So let's seal up all the edges and the seams with this tape on the outside as well. So I finished taping up the outside edges of the box yesterday evening, afternoon, and I wanted to go ahead and test fit the fully built box. So I did yesterday, and I went ahead and left it installed, so it's getting a little late. So I have my heat set to 67 again. It got in the teens last night, and it's like 24 degrees out right now. Sun's been up for an hour, hour and a half. Let's see if we get some temp readings. So again, my roof is 67. And now my attic door in the same spot is 66. Let's look all around real quick. 66 and a half, 65 and a half. So it looks like everywhere on the attic door is within a degree of the temperature, like the walls, 67 and a half are set to. And I haven't taped the inside yet, and I never doubled it up. So this is a single layer of that Henry's Artec 1-inch thick foam board. So even opening it, I don't feel any like cold air like I normally would, which is awesome. Also, as you can see, this one likes to get stuck. My hardware's here. I tested all that, so it only got to like 8 inches high, and I built the depth of the box or height of the box 9 inches, so it all clears pretty well. So I'll go up there and take some more readings. So at the bottom, because I cut this by hand, it's not perfectly flat all the way around, so it's not fully sealing on the bottom. I can feel a little bit of cold, but I have a really good friction fit on the attic framing, which is like 3 inches taller. So it's friction fit all around. This side's pretty flat. So I do feel a little bit of air coming through. So maybe, yeah, so I'm reading like 62, 63 right down here on the edge of the wood at the bottom. So I do have a little bit of air movement. So from here, like I said, I could double up the box to try to get it to seal better. And the way I would do that, so this, is build that additional layer on the outside, so then it would also seal on this. So right now it has a chance to seal here, here, and if I did another layer on the outside, like to rest on here, that's another place to air seal. Or I could get some weather stripping, to try to air seal this a little better. But it's working great with just the one layer. But a little bit of how it installs. So you just saw me remove it. Basically just get it lined up, which is kind of hard to do with one hand with a camera. But I dropped that side in first. And then I thought I was going to have to make like a handle or something to hold it. But what I ended up figuring out is if you just, again, I'm going to try to set this camera down for a second. Yeah, bear with me. Alright, so takes like 5-10 seconds to fiddle with it to get all the edges, because I built it so tight, because I wanted it to have that tightness on this wall. And then all you have to do is just put some pressure with your hand, and it's easy to slide the thing the rest of the way down. But that's really it. So I think I'll wrap up the video here. I really like how it came out. It's working really great. Temperatures on the attic door within 1 to 2 degrees of the inside temperature now. Before it was 20 degrees difference. So I'll pop the top open and just see what the temperature in the attic is real quick. I forgot to do that. Let's do that. All right, so I just popped the door up, and then I have a piece of plywood over on the right. This is the perfect deck to send it to when I want to come in the attic. Turn the light on. So now we're up here to the roof deck. Now that the sun's been beating on it for an hour or two, is about 59. And then I'm getting 40s, 38. This is the sun's on to my right. So on the non-sun facing side, I don't know if you can read that, it's like 37, 38. So again, made a huge difference. I'm really happy with it. Highly recommend doing this. It wasn't terribly difficult to build. I'll leave links in the description to the parts I used. Duct tape, silicone, the Artec foam. That was really it, and a razor to cut it. Super simple. Again, recommend doing this. If you have one of these attic stairs in your house, you should definitely do it. So thanks for watching this one. Be sure to like and subscribe. I have lots of home improvement and DIY stuff on my channel. Also, I plan to do some more insulation in this room above the garage over here. Frog or bonus room has attic knee walls. And I was just outside taking my kids to school this morning, and I can see frost because he's escaping on both sides of that roof. It's an A-frame hip roof here, A-frame roof over the garage in this room. I could see all the frost from the heat escaping and then condensating moisture on the outside of the roof. And then when I go in there and take readings, it's like 39, 40 degrees on the doors to those little attic knee wall spaces. So I'm going to be going in there to insulate those as well. So be sure to check the channel back out for that video. But again, thanks for watching. All right, it's getting long. All right, bye.